having fun growing my social media agency, and growing my social media agency specifically for the network marketing space.
Cool. So one thing that's always impressed me about you is that you've been able to really become friends with influencers in an intimate way, and that's a good thing. How have you done that? Like, give me some specific examples of people that you've met, that you've admired, and now become friends with and have benefited from.
There's this guy, John Lee Dumas, was one of them.
Well, let's pass
No, for real though. I remember the first time I was at an event, seeing you on stage, and I was like, man, that would be so cool to talk to that guy. And then there was this big dream of, what if not only I talked to him, what if I was interviewed by him? And it's crazy how a lot of it's taken place. But you mentioned other influencers like Lewis Howes, Gary Vaynerchuk, Michael O'Neill, other people that are in here. How it's kind of come together, I think, is just being genuinely interested in them. And we talked about this a little bit in 1446 of the episode, is just seeing what they actually need and taking care of them. Like, one thing that blew my mind meeting you and Lewis Howes and Gary Vaynerchuk and Ty Lopez is you're all human beings.
Humans.
And
through and through.
Yeah, they're not, even you and everyone else has some problem that they want solved, something they're working on. And that was a huge realization that you can not only help them, but then they're not up there on that pedestal. And if you could just have a real human conversation with them, then connections happen. So I didn't even realize it was going on, but it was like after a few months, years, just looking back, I'm like, whoa, I guess the connections are happening.
Well, I like to get specific because, like, for me, the big takeaways are when you actually have strategic stepping stones that you've done that have been successful. So I can look back for me, and when I was hanging out with Calvin, he's like, John, I know that Snapchat's a big deal for you for any number of reasons. Here's a tip that you probably don't know about that's gonna make you more successful within Snapchat. So kind of talk more specifically about like how you have really added true value, not just like service level to people's business.
Okay, so what you're talking about, I'll use that example first. I noticed that you were using the exact same content on Snapchat as you were on Instagram stories, but you were recording it twice. And I was like, John is somebody I know that likes to batch his stuff, save his time. And so then I was like, well, I know that if you just download those stories to your phone, you can re-upload them. You don't have to do it twice, and you can just do it kick-ass and have passion the first time, and then it works. So then I gave it to you. Somebody else, I was at an event, Ty Lopez was the keynote, and he was doing Periscope. And I noticed that in his bio, he didn't have a link. If you don't have a link in your bio, you're not growing your email list and stuff like that. So I just had a conversation. I know you're doing this. Why don't you have a link? He's like, I didn't know you could have a link. And I was like, yeah, do this, this, and this. And he was like, dude, Maya, connect with Calvin. We should have him at the house or buy his course. So just things like that, just noticing it. And I think I got that just being around other entrepreneurs that are real, being at events and seeing that that's how the high-level people actually operate. Just see what they can do to support them. What are you doing next? And I just followed suit.
So you've taken the step from attendee at a conference to guest on EO Fires to now published author. So take the last 30 seconds, give us a little intro about what we got going on here, and then we'll say goodbye.
Fish out of water. This is why most goals fail. It isn't talked about enough, hitting this stage where you're a fish out of water, and it's just about breaking through that barrier and 12xing your life.
And where can we find out more?
CalvinWayman.com.
Brother, mic down, hands up. Bring it in.
Bro.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, bro.